Right, and I think we're live. Good evening, everybody. I'm gonna get everybody enough time to come here in this chat room, and I'm gonna give it 1 minute before I bring my special guest on here. You know what I'm saying? And my special guest is coming back on here. And last time my special guest lit it up and spoke it with the facts, spoke it with the truth, and got to the point on here, y'all. And make sure y'all like, subscribe, and share, because it's very important to put the like button. When you hit the like button, people get tagged. When you hit that like button, you know what I'm saying? People are going to see the video, and because they fight censorship by sharing this. And when you share, you can either share on your Facebook page or your Twitter or Periscope, or you can just text somebody the video. Share it, or just tell everybody, call people, let them know that the video is about to be lit tonight, okay? And so I'm going to bring my special guest over here, and she is a breath of fresh air to my channel. And like, wow, man, I got love for this woman. And she's a young lady right here, man. And she's in a great example for my daughter, for all our daughters, for all the millennials. Right there. You dig what I'm saying? So here you go. Asia Brand.
Hey, I'm back.
Oh, back.
I'm back. Right? Hoorah.
There we go. So make sure you share. Oh, shoot.
Definitely share. Definitely. Got to spread the word, folks.
Spread the word. So let me get some shout outs to the chat room. You know, so I'd like to acknowledge the chat room before we start. What's up, True Conservative Minutes? What's up going on? Oh yeah, I see the super troll over there. I wouldn't say your name, get your attention. But anyway, what's up, John? What's going on, John? I see you, John. What's up, Tamila? And man, we just get started. Okay.
Who is that? Mano, I can't pronounce your name, but hi, how are you?
That's John. Yeah, that's John. That's his name, the YouTube name. That's my guy, John. He's my moderator, my first moderator.
Oh, hi, John. Hello.
Stacy, Curtis, and make sure y'all share this, y'all, because y'all in for another treat. Y'all think y'all was in for a treat last time? Guess what? She got more to say. Asia, the more and more her platform, I'm telling you, the more and more her platform, the more and more her you know, saying her message grow, she's gonna have more to say. She's never at a standstill. This is why I said y'all in for a treat. So I'm not gonna rant. So what's going on, Asia? How you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. A lot better now that I got out of work. It was a long day. Had to deal with, you know, the situations that are happening with different patients and things like that. It can be draining dealing with these patients sometimes, right? Because I try to keep my happy-go-lucky up so that way when they come through the door, they feel a happy spirit. They get a happy energy from me. But sometimes that's draining. Emotionally, energetically speaking, spiritually, it gets draining. So having come back home, and now that I'm on with you, my happy-go-lucky is back. So I'm doing good now. Doing good now.
Good. I'm glad you're doing good. You know, we got to do good. We got to do good. And when I say doing good, we got to do good by encouraging each other. We got to encourage ourselves. Remember, we talked about that. Got to encourage ourselves, and we got to do good, because this country.
These are the tools. Call on Jesus. He will give you the strength and the patience and the wisdom. And all you got to do is trust his process, and you good. Trust that process, and you good.
Yes, trust that process. Trust the plan, because we know that things are never an accident. I don't believe in accidents.
Me neither.
No.
I don't. God has a plan. It's just, you know, what's that old cliche? You want to hear God laugh, tell him what you have planned. So I stopped doing that. I just go with God's flow.
Yeah, you got to go with that.
Yes,
you
do.
You know, you got to be more Christ-like. More Christ-like. You know, when I say Christ-like, you got to look more like Christ. You got to have this attitude to learn to be.
I dare you to say that to a far leftist. I bet you they'll say, "You trying to make me a white man, Mo?" I bet you they'll say that.
A white man. Oh my God, they always racist. Why are they so racist?
Because it's easy. Well, there was this guy on YouTube. He's like a motivational speaker, whatever. He used to say stuff like, "It's easy." That's why they do it. It's easy. Race is always easy.
Yeah, and I see it more for the left, far left,
Yeah.
whatever left. I see it more. They are the most racist people, man, because they even brainwash people in prisons. From what I know, I'm gonna talk about a little bit later, because when I talked to my uncle today, right, that was in prison, he said there were a lot of people in prison that hate Trump. They blame Trump for things. I said, but Trump wasn't there when y'all Negroes got locked up.
Right. He wasn't the one in office. He didn't, put the handcuffs on you. In fact, he's making it easier for you to get out of jail than any other president that came before him, including Barack Obama, because that man did Naco for Black America that was locked up.
Right.
But he's Black. He's the first Black president. Dude, that's all you have. Only thing that he's going to have one page in a history book from 20 years down the line, and it's going to say first Black American president.
Yes.
Caught Osama bin Laden. That's it. That's not even a whole page. It's like 2 sentences and then on to the next president.
They don't want to talk with this. Like a lot of blacks is in prison right now. They're in jail because of the Democrats.
They are.
They're doing. I mean, yes, they did it to themselves. A lot of them, but you know what I'm saying. Can't do the time. But a lot of that 3 strike stuff. 3 strikes. Oh, you're a 3-time loser. Blame it on the Clintons.
You totally can. And the thing is, granted, there is something as far as self-accountability. If you didn't make that decision, you wouldn't have been locked up in the first place. But with that being said, I understand the testimony of a young Black man who says, but there were no jobs in my community where they were even willing to hire me, even though I was a high school graduate, or there was no way for me to go to an internship because they weren't taking people from my neighborhood. I understand that testimony. So I understand it's like a 2-pronged problem. It's not just the fact that they made the choice, but there not being another option for these young Black men. It's why they make the choice to go hustle drugs, to join gangs, because there's no other opportunity for them. Now there's opportunity. So now there's no excuse. So if you get locked up in 2019 under a Trump presidency, that's totally on you now, because you can't say there's no opportunity. You can't say there's not another option. If the only way you're thinking that is because you're only listening to the hip hop artists who are saying how they made it was by hustling, but you don't have to do that anymore. So in today's day and age, entirely your fault. Under the Clinton presidency, under Bush, and under Obama, there was no opportunity for you. So I understand if you felt that was your only option. I get that. That I get. But today, nah, dude, it's your fault why you locked up today. It's your fault.
Yep, it's their fault. It's like man. I mean, we at war with principalities. We're not at war with flesh and blood.
No, we're not. It's a spiritual thing.
And I believe the spiritual warfare, and that's what the title we're going to talk about right here is that World War III is here. It's a spiritual battle. Now it's back to life, back to reality. It's back. No, we're not at war with flesh and blood. This principality is the darkness of this world. It's the darkness. And this is why they thought World War III is going to be babies getting their head called bomb. No. Ain't nothing like that.
It's not. The war that we're in today, it's literally like good versus evil, but on the spiritual battlefield.
Yes.
And the only way to fight it is to embolden the Christian spirit in the nation. I mean, yes, we are a nation built off of Christian Judeo ethics. Our Constitution, to some degree, replicates the 10 Commandments. So if people don't get that this is a nation rooted in a spirit of Christ, then you're going to have a difficult time trying to maintain the strength of that spirit. I mean, I wrote an op-ed, and it was called God Save the Queen, right? The Queen being America. The only king that this nation has is the Lord and is our Lord and Savior. And the queen is America. But the thing is, the only way to protect her, the only way to save her is to rely on the spirit of the king, of our king. But the problem is you have a lot of people in my generation who are at a disconnect from Christ. They're at a disconnect from God. Black America has pulled away from the faith of God. So that's why when I see people like Kanye West, whose music I did not like in the beginning, kind of pump God into culture and into our psyches again, as far as a community, I love it, because that's how you have to kind of embolden that Christ-like spirit, because that's the only way we're going to win this war. This isn't, we got to go to the UK to fight them. This is not about going to the Middle East to stop them. We are talking about a group of people in this nation who are such at a disconnect from Christ that they are willing to embody anything that they say that they're told to believe in. Millennials, right? We say that we're independent, but we want so desperately to believe in something, and not being raised in the Christian spirit or in the spirit of Christ. When we grow up, you hear people like Antifa or these far radical leftist Democrats, or even, radical Muslim congressmen and women like Ilhan Omar, and they entice millennials to believe in something. But Christians, we've dropped the ball. We haven't made millennials feel like they are part of that mission, that they are part of that fight. And that's why you see them running to Antifa. That's why you see them running and rallying behind Ilhan Omar and Linda Sarsour, because they're given something to believe in that is bigger than themselves. But had they been raised in the spirit of Christ, they would know that. They would know to live a life of love and kindness and wisdom, search for knowledge, being, do upon others as you want done upon you. Like, these are Christian values. And had they been raised in that, we probably would have won this war already.
Christian values and Christian values. And
man, got to pump it into culture.
Man.
That's how we do it.
Yes. Christian value. Whatever happened to Christian values? It's like Christian values is just leaving this country right now. And people like us are like the last one. Or not like, but I'm going to rephrase that. People like us are the last one standing.
Yeah.
We are the last one standing, and we are standing up for Christian values.
Yeah, because it's like people forget when it's not taught to next generations. The last generation to really know Christ are the only ones to remember. Yeah. And so when they start to die out, the Christian spirit is going with them, because the next generation don't know any better, and they don't know Christ the way previous generations do, And it's not about religion. It is a spiritual component in order for this country to thrive. When this country is trifling and when it is, vulgar and promiscuous, it fails. Look at Obama's administration. This country the people were trifling. Women were trifling. Men were going around killing, Black America specifically. We were so openly despicable as far as American character was concerned that we failed drastically under that president. Yeah. Now that we're emboldening Christianity, now that we're pumping Christian spirit into the country again, now our country is thriving. That's not a coincidence. It's not. I used to say all the time, when Trump won, it was the best joke God could play on America. It's like, you need him like you need me. You don't want to believe that I can make your lives better. So I'm going to put the person who you believe to be the most outrageous, most disrespectful person in the White House. Mm-hmm. So that way he can fight the way you were all supposed to fight for decades in my name. And that's why I used to say that all the time. And people are like, no, Trump is not a messiah. I'm like, I never said that. I said that was the message that God was trying to send to America. And the thing is, it never would have had to be so blunt with Trump had America not become so trifling. It never would have to have been so in your face with Trump had we not become so despicable towards God. That's what it is. America put on this facade across the world under Obama that we were so great, when really American character under Obama was shitty. It was shitty. And now that we have a president that reflects the character of America under Obama, now we're forced to be our best selves. Now we're forced to put Christ back into our culture. Now we're forced to be better than what we were under Obama. That's how this works. If you won't make the choice by yourself, God is going to put something in motion where you make your way to God by yourself. He's not just, if you can't get there by yourself, he's going to make sure that you end up making that decision anyway. And by putting Trump in the White House, that did it. Because a lot of Black Americans were separate from Christ, and then Trump won and we got closer to God again. Simply because we thought, gosh, we have to pray to God to make sure that Trump doesn't destroy the world. Gosh, I have to go to church or read the scripture so I can feel my spirit being emboldened. We all started doing that when Trump won the presidency. That tells me God did this for a reason. That's just facts.
For a reason, it's facts. Facts over feelings. Damn it.
Word.
This is facts.
Word. My sister used to say stuff like, facts don't give a fuck about your feelings. That's what she said. Facts don't give a fuck about your feelings. Plain simple. They don't. And we get so emotional when people want to talk about how, you know, God would not allow this. Trump is against our faith. I'm like, listen, people didn't vote for him, and they still won't vote for him because they believe him to be a Messiah. We vote for him because we know that he'll let us worship Christ the way we want to. He'll mind his damn business while we live our lives. That's why we vote for him. And because of that, the Christian spirit is now stronger than ever. I think strongest since it's been since way back when, especially in Black America. Black America is starting to embrace Christ the way they used to back in the roaring 20s and back in the 30s and 40s and 50s. And the 60s is when we started to pull away from God. Why? Because government became our daddies. And that's how that happened. And then, you know, fast forward 20, 30 years later, God isn't in the household. Every parent, every single mom is dependent on the government. So now when people hear the big G word, it isn't God, it's government. And so we rely mostly on that. We don't depend on God anymore. We don't depend on Christ anymore. But with Trump in the White House, I bet you do now, though. I bet you do now. Because when we pray for God to guide Trump to make the best decisions, it works, emboldening our faith in Christ. Plain and simple.
Plain and simple.
Yep.
It's plain to see. You can't change me because I'm gonna be for life. Come on, man. Like, man. I'm looking at the chat room like, wow, everybody coming up in the chat room now. They coming all late, like Black people. Black people be late, but white people are late too in the chat room.
The conservative patriot, you're right. God is working through President Trump. He is.
Right, CP.
He's right.
Yes, he's right. And it's like, man.
Yep.
Like, you know what? How did I talked about this with you last week? Mm-hmm. You woke up. You are the Great Awakening. You're 24 years old. Like, wow. Are there many more like you over here? Young from your era. Are there many more like that? Are they scared to come out the closet? Are they scared?
I don't know, Mo. I'm hoping I hope they exist. I think it might be a fear. I'm hoping that that's what it is, because all you have to do is help them get the courage and the bravery to come forward. But if that's not the case, oh man, I mean, a poll just came out that a lot of people in my generation, you know, are okay with communism and socialism. And granted, it's mostly because of, you know, the college universities and the financial disaster that they leave my generation in. So I understand why my generation leans towards socialism. I understand it. And a few years ago, I would have too. You know, I was all for free college. And then I found out free college wasn't offered to me.
Thank you.
And then that played a huge role in why I left in the first place, because a lot of people were telling me, Asia, you're intelligent. You should go back to school. You could study whatever you want. I'm like, see, right there is the trick. You're telling me I could study whatever I want, but you're not telling me the financial disaster I'll be left in 4 years after I go back to school. You know, I'm like, I'll rather hire a tutor. I'd rather get my own form of education because I don't want to go broke. I don't agree with socialism or communism, but I get why a whole bunch of people in my generation do, because you're leaving us broke as all hell. You're leaving us broke. And there's no ambition left after 4 years and can't get a job with the BS degree in women's studies. I have no ambition after that. Being in school for 4 years, as far as university is concerned, is physically draining.
So,
and then to hear,
so you see, so I mean, do you think they're being dumbed down because they feel that way? I mean, even though you say you can see how they feel, but do you think that they have been dumbed down?
Dumbed down? I think so. I think so.
Dumbed down millennials, dumbed down young people, dumbed down.
That's part of it. It's definitely part of the problem, because they spend all this money because they think they're going to become these college grad intellectuals filled with wisdom. But when they get out, they're ignorant still, they're naive, and they don't have backbones. So when someone tries to teach them something other than what they learned in school, oh no, I have a degree, I don't need to know what you have to offer me. And that's a part of the problem. And then when they go to school, they're coddled the way they were when they were growing up with helicopter parents. So you come out like punk asses. Well, you can't take constructive criticism. You can't take it when someone's telling you that you did something wrong. But I'm like, mofo, if you fucked up, someone's gonna tell you that you fucked up. Accept the criticism and move forward with it. It's constructive the first time around, but because no one challenged them, they came out dumber than ever. And I just found out like Cardi B actually went to college and stuff. And I said in my episode a few months ago, actually, I said, whatever college that she went to, parents, don't send your kids there, because she went in dumb as hell and came out ignorant as fuck. I don't know how that happened. Like, I don't know. And she's a microcosm for what happens to millennials on campuses. You go in there, you think you're going to become smart and wise, and you're going to be, this genius person, even though you didn't go to Harvard or Yale, and yet you come out dumb as shit. You can't take on a real job because your degree won't allow you to. You're broke as hell because you spent a whole bunch of money and took a whole bunch of loans out. And then when you're like 26, 27, and you're ready to get your own house, you can't take out another loan because you are $200,000 in debt for some stupid ass women's studies. What are you going to do with that? Not a damn thing. Unless you become a therapist and say, I'm treating women for what? For being women? There is no mental health treatment for teaching a woman to be a woman. Go find a good woman and put that woman in front of this young lady so she knows how to be better. You don't need women's studies when you want to know why you can't get a job. You want to know why you can't get a home, because you're broke as hell and ignorant as hell. And that's the problem with my generation. And they're too proud. They don't know how to humble themselves either. I had to swallow so much humble pie, I was ready to choke on it. But I wanted to keep my job, but I didn't want my mother to beat my ass.
Come on now, Asia.
So I ate a whole bunch of humble pie. That's it. And then you just, you roll with the punches and you grow the fuck up. That's just how it goes.
Right.
They can't do that though. They've been their whole lives. They've been teddy bears their whole lives. I mean, don't get me wrong. I got a baby face, but I can't act like a child.
Right.
I don't get rewarded. I don't get to be in my own apartment. I don't get to, work if I'm going to act like a child. They will fire my ass and my mother will beat my ass because I'm acting like a child. That's the problem with my generation.
Nigga.
Straight up.
We do it. And man, we live in a dumbed down society. They dumb down, they dummy down. They are dummy down. They're not getting smart.
Culture plays a huge role in that. Culture plays a serious role in that.
Mm-hmm.
It plays a serious role. That's why when we talk about World War III being
talk about it. You got the spotlight.
We have to pump. It's not just about pumping Christian values, right? It's about pumping common sense back into society. So you got to put that in music. You have to put that in film and television and whatever form of entertainment, any form of education. And if that means parents got to go back to homeschooling their kids so their kids don't come out like, nonsensical cupcakes, then maybe you need to raise your teach your own child. Maybe you need to raise them to be strong and confident and strong in faith so that way they can deal with whatever comes out there. But unfortunately, with parents relying so heavily on others, especially in education, your kids are coming home dumber than ever, but you're spending a whole bunch of money in taxes for their education. They're coming home and they're watching stupid shit on television. So you want to know why your child sounds like, Beavis and Butthead, or is watching shit like Family Guy and they're running around like Stewie. He was a genius, but nonetheless disrespectful. They want to know why your child is running around like that. Straight up, my niece used to sing the Family Guy theme song and she was like 4. Yeah. Yeah. And now she's a smart ass. Yeah, because she's a smart ass. She's a little smart ass and she's disrespectful. She's 11 now, but at 4 years old watching Family Guy, why would you let her watch that? Because now she's this little disrespectful 10-year-old running around. She's not cussing people out, but she's clever. That's the one thing I can give her. She's smart as hell because her father don't tolerate dumbasses. That's the only thing. But she's still disrespectful as fuck. And that's because of what's pumped in culture, in society. That's what happens. So if we're going to win World War III, take culture away from the left. That's how you do it.
Culture away from the left. Culture, which leads to race baiting, which leads to socialism, which leads to communism, which leads to all that, which leads to fuckery.
Yeah, it does. That's why I say all the time, hip hop specifically, I felt like hip hop was, perpetuating the problem that we see in Black America. Because in order for them to make millions of dollars, they have to commit crimes in their community, and the street cred that they get from committing those crimes, they use to build their profile. So these heads of gangs bankroll their careers. But now the very shit that they're singing about and they're making money off of is what they're doing in Black America and in our communities. Yet we go spend money on their swag. We download and pay for their albums. We do all of that. But everything that they're singing about are crimes that they're committing in our own community. And yet we have the audacity to say that Trump is to blame and the white man is the reason Black men are killing Black men. Let's be clear. Do you remember that case with Nipsey Hussle? And Laura Ingraham, said what she said. And a lot of people said, oh, that was disrespectful. It was controversial. Though her timing was bad, considering he died just a few days before she said it, the problem is she was right. She was telling the truth. He died for Black on Black crime, not because a white man killed him. No Nazi, no fascist, no racist shot him. He died because of gang on gang violence, Black on Black crime. That's why he died. And then he had, a lot of people, my older sister specifically, she said, he built businesses in his own community. You mean the very community that he was pumping drugs in not too long ago? You mean the very community that he was probably, jumping and assisting with killing in his own community? But we're supposed to say, oh, none of that matters because he put a business in the community that he damn near destroyed himself. So what do you mean? We're supposed to just wash away all the sins that were committed because he built the business. He built the store.
Right. That
he put his own swag in. You still were associated with these gangs because if you weren't, you never would have gotten shot in the first place. Plain and simple. Yet most of his music was singing about how he had to hustle on the street, how he had to rely on gangs to, keep food on his table, that he looked to, the older people in the gangs for moral support and for protection. He was rapping about that in his music. So what? Now all of a sudden, Black on Black crime doesn't exist because the dude's dead? He sang about it. The very things that he was talking about, how it was hurting our community. He was causing the problems before he became Nipsey Hussle. He caused the same problems that most of these people did. Jay-Z, he's another one. I think the only person I can think off the top of my head that probably didn't have to hustle was Drake. If that, because I don't really know.
Jay-Z, and I was looking at Jay-Z, right? Because
Mhm.
Jay-Z's a globalist, and
He is.
I look at this, and remember Hillary Clinton thought she was gonna win, and then Beyonce and Jay-Z was gonna perform.
Yeah, I'm not even a front. I did watch that concert.
Yeah. They was gonna be there, and
Yeah,
they were gonna really dump down more black folks.
They did. You know what? Do you remember they had like all of Broadway at the DNC? Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
All of them were there. I was just,
all of them.
you know me, I love Broadway, so I just tuned in. I'm like, oh, that's Audra McDonald. Oh, that's Meryl Streep. I'm like, then came the election. I'm like, okay, I love you, Broadway. I love you, Meryl, but I'm not voting for this chick.
Yeah.
That's what happens, bro. That they try so hard, and they use pillars of culture, like, you know, rich asses, celebrities, elites, Beyonce, Jay-Z, all the cast of Broadway. They're supposed to like bring all of their followers to the left and get them to just be little soldiers in the left's cabal of BS. But people refuse. They wall out.
It made me think a whole lot, right? One of my good friends, you know, he's a national recording artist, signed with Jive Records, and he's a minister. Apostle, I don't say Apostle BBJ. His name is BBJ. He's a Christian rapper, the first Christian rapper to ever sign to a major contract. And me and him talked, and I was doing some stuff. I used to do Christian rap, my daughter and all that. Long story short, and he called me. I was going through a divorce. He called me and he said this, I'm gonna tell you why I left Hollywood. You know, he said they try to control you. You're not really rich, but they controlling you with the jewelry and the houses and everything. So guess what? Now he's at a storefront church. Him and his wife are happy.
Wow.
They're almost broke and rich. You feel what I'm saying? They almost broke and they're rich. Rich in the spirit. He left Hollywood. And look, they took away all his views, everything he's done. Look, I'm like, wow. He reached out to me. We talked. He used to call me every day when I went through a divorce, because I was going through some mental issues at that one point. So he called me every day and like, wow. He told me why he left Hollywood, because of stuff like that. It's Hollywood. They have a hidden agenda.
They do.
Come on now, speak on it. You speak on it.
They do. I mean, just look at what's happened, right? I mean, I wasn't a big fan of Justin Bieber, but he left and became a Christian, right? Because when he was dealing with that whole situation with Selena Gomez, I think he was in AA, and some of what he said got leaked to the media. And he talked about how Hollywood tried to use his relationship against him.
Yes.
So that way he can stay the young heartthrob.
Mm-hmm.
You know, allegedly he got Selena Gomez pregnant and they forced her into having an abortion. Again, I say allegedly because there's no factual evidence. This is just Justin Bieber's testimony.
Yeah.
But they forced her to have an abortion, and that's why they ended up falling apart, because Hollywood intervened. They didn't want Justin Bieber to lead a life of his own. And before you knew it, like, you don't even see him that much in Hollywood, right? You see him focusing on his marriage and focusing on his well-being. Another example, Kanye West. He has serious mental health issues. Issues. And a lot of people kept joking about it, kept making fun about it. This is a Black man who relied so much on the presence of his mother that when she passed away, mentally and emotionally, he broke.
Yeah.
And he was just parading around the world, making a fool out of himself. And then he meets his wife, who at first I thought was good for nothing, 2-bit trash.
Thank you.
I'm not gonna lie, because I did think that of Kim Kardashian.
Yeah, trash.
Now Kim Kardashian is a kept woman. Kanye West is now a Christian who's moving forward in his spirit of Christ. And he's a better man because of it. And Kim is a better woman because the presence of the Lord is in her life.
Thank you.
She's not this trifling hoe anymore who was taking these nasty ass pictures and parading her naked body in magazines and stuff. She's not that. She's gotten character. They're examples. So when people start to say that, oh no, Hollywood is what everybody wants, it's what we have to follow. No, they're pumping bullshit into your society.
Thank you.
And we allow them to, because there's not enough of us who are willing to take back what is rightfully ours. It's our culture. It belongs to us. You know, I was watching something the other day, and someone in some show, I think it was Michael Douglas, his character said that, 90% of SAG actors, right, are unemployed. And it made me think, well, why are they unemployed? Because there's this, monopoly on the art form, on this industry, that people who don't pay their dues to the monolithic group think that is Hollywood, then they're not going to let you work. But if we open the industry up amongst all conservatives, and if conservatives start competing against Hollywood, let's make our own superhero movies. Let's make our own television series. How about we make a show called How to Get Away with Murder and do it better?
Next.
Right? We should just do that. But, that's just what I'm saying. We need like a whole new renaissance. That's what Ayn Rand said. New renaissance. We have to have it in art and education. We need a new one. And conservatives need to take the lead.
They do.
We do, man.
Take the lead.
Yes, we do.
Because a lot of us are not stepping up our game. And it's time to say conservative, dear conservatives, step up your game, damn it. Step it up. Because we got to be, if we step up our game, we will be we'll be 2 steps ahead. Steps ahead. Not 1 step, but 2 steps ahead.
Yeah, we have, you know what? I love that Trump has gotten so many people to put out their opinions and to come up with like streaming services to combat, nonsensical mainstream media. And, we have streaming services like Blaze TV and, there's PragerU. There's so many coming up. And I appreciate that. I do it too. But we also need to stop talking. We need to start making actions. I know that Hollywood plays a huge role in the problem that we're facing in the spiritual warfare. So that means we need to contribute to the entertainment spectrum. I want to see superheroes. Like, that's really why I want to create a streaming service. Me and my sister have created so many characters filled with conservative values. And I'm not talking Hallmark type series or Hallmark movies. No, I'm talking, I'm going to show you a real human nature dilemma, but I'm also going to put common sense, Christian values into these stories. I want my superheroes to fight the bad guys of today. For example, why the hell is Wonder Woman fighting Nazis when we have fascists today? Why the hell is Superman fighting, freaking Lex Luthor only when we are dealing with radical Islam? Why are they fighting any of these enemies from way back when? No one wants to tackle the threat of today. That's why we need our own superheroes. Plain and simple. Conservatives need to come up with their own narratives because we create documentaries, but no narrative, right? We write a whole bunch of books, but let's call a spade a spade. My generation, not a lot of us like to read. I do. I love to read, but you need to start turning your books into narratives, not documentaries. You need to start making it easier for people to see conservative values because talking to liberals, they don't hear you when you say the word conservative or Christian values. They don't hear you. But if I show you, not in a documentary where I know we're going to say Trump or First Amendment or Constitution and now you're not listening, but if I give you a character like Wonder Woman or Batman or Green Lantern and they're fighting bad guys that are like Antifa and a spiritual war that we're in is against an organization like Planned Parenthood, you're going to watch. And you're going to hear me when I say, yeah, that's the war that we're fighting today. You'll get so many people on the side of common sense because you showed them what the threat is. Didn't talk to them about it. That's what we need. That's why I keep saying we need a conservative renaissance so badly. I want superheroes to fight bad guys of today. I want narrative that I can really relate to. That's what I want. And no one, unfortunately, has given that to me. I mean, I've tried PureFlix. And it's good. It's okay. But it can be Hallmarky. It can be Hallmarky. Unplanned, very good movie. But to some degree, Hallmarky. To some degree. I don't want any of that. I want how liberals make entertainment, but I want common sense and conservative values.
Wow.
No one's married the two yet. And I feel like I could, since I've been a liberal for so freaking long.
Yes, we've been a liberal. And remember we talked about this, you got classical liberals, but these people are beyond liberals over here.
Yeah, there's a difference between liberal and lefty.
Yes.
Huge difference. Huge difference. Liberals, unfortunately, don't know any better, especially if you're a millennial liberal. You know the difference. And so they'll identify as, yes, I'm on the left. No, you're not. You're not on the left. You're just liberal.
Yes.
You don't get it. You don't know the truth. That's why you say you're on the left, but you're not.
Yeah.
But they're not. They just don't know any better. They're ignorant. And ignorance will flock to any, message that comes their way, even if it's bullshit.
Mm-hmm. They're like babies, right?
They are.
Better. You got to keep tapping their hand, and they thought you got to like educate them. You got to come out. You got to educate these people that don't know more better.
Right? Like mom will say, baby girl, don't touch the stove because you'll burn yourself. Right? The baby will then go touch the stove, and the mom will sit back and let it happen because when they feel the pain, they won't do it again. Unfortunately, the ignorant liberal lefty dad is saying, no, it won't burn you, even though it's burning you. And they'll keep doing it. That's my generation. That's my generation. In a nutshell. It's simple, but true.
Yeah. Hold on. I'm gonna put the link to your channel because the people are asking about your channel. So I'm gonna go back to one of our videos we did the other day. I got the link over here. So I'm gonna put the link in the chat room. Go ahead, keep on talking.
No problem. I can talk for days, especially about a conservative renaissance. Can we just get so many people who just put money into a project? Like, you don't even need to be a production company. You don't need to work with SAG. Just say, you know what? We're going to make a movie. 12 people just come together and just finance an animated movie series. Honestly, like DC, for example, the best thing about them are their animated movies. So let's compete with that. Let's create cartoon series if we have to. Let's make a narrative, a drama, where even though we're in Black America and we're struggling, let's show what common sense and hard work actually looks like amongst our young men. Let's watch them make a better decision for themselves as opposed to watching them be ghost from power. Right? Let's create a whole bunch of different narratives that show conservative values and common sense, and where, they're not cliche Christians that go to church every Sunday, but the Spirit of the Lord is within their household. I want to see shows like that. We so need a conservative renaissance in every pillar of culture. If we're going to win World War III, that is how you do it. There is no more talk. I mean, talk is fine. It's okay. But that was fine and okay 2 years ago. Now we need action. Now we need to start taking pillars of culture away from the left. That's why I love Kanye West's new album. That's why I can start to really get excited about hip hop, because honestly, Kanye is what's going to make hip hop great again. He's what's going to do that, because he's already showed what you have to do to take away an industry away from people. Kanye's not just some low level gospel rap. This is a dude who was in the thick of it with Hollywood. All of his listeners are going to embrace Christ simply because they love Kanye's music. A lot of people are going to start to wonder about Kanye, wonder why he, became this Christian, why he became a Christian, why he embodies the Spirit of Christ. They're going to start to question the left because of the things that he's saying. And they're going to want to be better individuals because of the things Kanye is saying. And their character will be better. The individual's best self will start to come out, all because Kanye put a better message in culture. And he said in a recent interview, we were slaves to culture. Culture must work for us, not the other way around.
Yes.
And if we have to keep control over it, then we'll forever be slaves to it. We need to take it away from them, kick them the fuck out, and take it over. That's how I feel. And I say this all the time. Take culture away from them. If these entities, if this type of industry, whether it be hip hop, film, television, if these mean so much to us, then let's take it the hell away from the left so we can do it better. That's why I want a streaming service. That's why I write my novels and my series and work so hard to try and get things done as far as a narrative is concerned, because I feel like we can do it better. It's the best of both liberal entertainment and conservative common sense values. Boom. Conservative Renaissance.
Woo, you said, hold on, let me get my spotlight over here. Hold on. You said common sense values. And I like the way you just stated that, the way you just put that down. Common sense values. When I first supported Trump, right? In 2016, yes, I did. I came out of nowhere, but they interviewed every black Trump supporter, took all our pieces of the videos, and most of us always said is common sense. Common sense. I don't want to be a fucking slave no more. Common sense. And that's all it was.
That's it. That is it. Because we were all slaves to culture. Why was every black man in the hood walking around with the latest Jordans, the latest kicks, the latest swag, but you have no apartment, no place to live, you have no way of taking care of your children, but you got those new kicks though? Why? Because culture said that was more important. But now, if culture said, listen, kicks are fine, find a way to do it on a budget, take care of your kids first, and then go treat yourself. If culture said that, you'd have a lot more black men taking better care of their families. You'd have a lot more black women, carrying themselves better instead of thotting it out in these streets. But culture says you make money stripping, you make money hoeing it out. And that's what happens. That's exactly what happens. And they go out there and they thought it out. They go out there and they become hustlers. And you want to know why Black America is, being diminished. It's because y'all are being trifling because culture said it was okay to be. But then when it gets mad,
I'm going to ask your opinion on this.
No problem.
This is random. I never asked you this. What is the true word, in your opinion, of cultural appropriation? What, in your words, your own words mean of the word cultural appropriation? In your words, not their word. The liberals use the word cultural appropriation in a different word. You young, you're millennial. And so what's your words about this?
Cultural appropriation. I'm assuming liberals say that because they're saying that they're trying to get people to fit into one box. Am I right or wrong on that?
You're right.
Right. So here's the thing. People don't understand what American culture is. They don't. They assume because we're a melting pot, we're a nation made of immigrants, that America doesn't have its own culture. I'm like, y'all are wrong. It's because they don't know what it is. So American culture is freedom. That's it. That's all it is. We embody freedom in God. That's American culture. So you can be black, you can be white, you can be purple, you can be gay or straight, you can be bi, even though I don't believe those really exist because you're there's no such thing.
Right.
You don't really, if you embody freedom, if you embody what it truly means to be a God-fearing individual who believes in your own free will, that is what it means to be American. So when liberals say it, all I tell them, you don't understand American culture. That's what it means. Oh, America doesn't have its own culture. It steals culture. That's a crock of shit. America culture has always been about freedom. Every battle this country has fought has been for freedom. Yes. No matter if it was for black people, whether it was away from Britain, whether it was for women or gays or dogs under the sky. We always fought for freedom. That is American culture. So when people say, oh, cultural appropriation, you mean when people adapt to a free life? When people have the choice to choose whatever it is that they wish? I don't, what's so wrong with that? I didn't say you had to, come here and be black. I didn't say you had to come here and, be stuck up and pompous. That's not what it means. Cultural appropriation for me means I embody freedom and the spirit of Christ. Liberals just don't know what American culture is. I get that we're a melting pot. I get that. We're a melting pot of different types of music and food and, different types of rituals and things of that nature. I understand that. But this country was never about food or music or dance styles or anything like that. The idea of this nation is freedom. That's American culture. That is it. So, of course, I want people to assimilate. If you embody freedom, then we have no problem. You will never stomp on my freedom because you now know what it means to have your own. But liberals don't get that. They don't. And that's part of the problem. It's why we have these issues as far as freedom of speech. It's why we have our issues as far as these gun laws are concerned, because they don't know what America is or what it's about, what it truly, truly means. They just think that, oh, the white man wants us to go back to being slaves. Cultural appropriation means they want us to revert to the way it was. No, it's never been that. America has built itself on, has prided itself on getting better.
Hold on, we got Likewise. He disagreed with you up in here. Likewise, you want to at least come on here for like 2 minutes before the end?
That's fine.
You want to come up? You want to come up and talk? I mean, I'll put the link right here. You know what I'm saying? Because we got 10 minutes left here. And look, we're in the
Come on.
Come on up. I'll send you the link. Let me know you're going to pop up.
And just tell me why I'm out of my mind. Why do you disagree?
Why y'all know? You say I can't. Because he's triggered. He know he's going to get treated. He won't come up.
No, I can't set it up. Just come on now. We got 10 minutes. Come on, Likewise. I really want to know why you disagree. Why do you disagree?
He's triggered.
Okay, say in the comments why you disagree.
Okay. You gonna come up? Hey, you got about 10 minutes, man. I'm too petty. All right. He disagreed with you, so get on here, Likewise.
Come on, please, Likewise.
Come on.
Oh, he's working right now. Can you at least comment why you disagree?
You know what? We can set something up some other day. You and Likewise.
That would be fun because I want to know why they disagree. I don't mind.
Likewise is a globalist.
I don't mind when people disagree. I just want to know why you disagree. Right, don't say that I'm out of my mind.
We'll set it up, Likewise, next time.
Yeah, that'll be good. Likewise, we'll set it up. We'll set something up.
We'll have a debate. Okay, a friendly intellectual debate. You know?
Yeah, that'd be great. I don't know what we're going to talk about. First, that we should totally start off with why he disagrees with me first.
Yes. Yes, we could talk about that. You say, here I come. Oh, is he popping on here? I don't see him popping on here. I put the link.
Oh, here I come. Okay. Wait, here you come. Are you coming now, Likewise?
You got 8 minutes because this video is like an hour long. And
I hear you. Oh, man. Because I would love that. I'm not even going to front.
So, you know what? We just set up another interview.
That'd be cool.
We'll talk about this next time. I want to see
because I really want to know why he disagrees.
Hey, Likewise, he gets triggered.
Oh man, see, I all I can say is I'd rather just have a conversation. You tell me why you disagree. I'll hear your side of it. And if you present an argument that's rooted in facts, or even if I said something wrong, like if I interpreted.
There you go, right there. He's in here.
Oh, is this Likewise?
Likewise.
Hi, Likewise. How are you?
Peace.
Hey, okay. Can you tell me why you disagree? Because I don't know. Did I get cultural appropriation all wrong? Did I interpret it incorrectly?
No, but I don't think you can speak for an entire race of people.
Okay, go.
Okay, so you need to speak from your perspective, okay, on where you come from and what you do and what you have experienced, okay? Not what you assume that everybody in the so-called hood should be doing, okay? Number one, number one, and from when I came on here,
right?
When I got to notice, you were speaking about against against people going to college.
Yeah.
Okay. Now here's the thing: just because you go to college doesn't mean that you have to go to Stanford, Harvard, or Duke.
Oh yeah, no, I wasn't saying that. I was saying millennials go to college, and when they come out, even though they didn't go to Yale or Harvard or Stanford, they think they're the shiznit.
No, you spoke out specifically about the financial burden of people who attend college. Okay,
yeah,
that's not everybody. Okay, and this isn't the first time that I've been on Mo's channel where people speak out a bit against going to college. Now, if you have a better alternative than going to college, please explain to us. Yeah, because we all know that.
Training.
What's that?
trade school.
Yeah,
Get some skills. And then if you decide after you've obtained those skills to go to school, you'll live something in your own life, so you won't make irrational decisions as to, studying media arts or studying women.
It doesn't have to be media arts. It could be anything. It could be going to school to be a doctor, be a lawyer, be a physician. It could be anything.
That's rational thinking. That's rational thinking.
Okay.
But most millennials go to school for superficial majors like women's studies, media arts. They go for degrees that don't get them jobs. So if they at least go to trade school first, if they go there, obtain some skills, go into the workforce with those skills, if later on they decide to go back to school, they have a better understanding of what it means to take care of adult responsibilities. They're not going to make irrational choices like, oh, I'm going to go to school for women's studies. The reason why I say this is because a lot of the millennials on the coast anyway make those decisions. And now most New Yorkers that are my age, most Jerseyans that are my age are in debt. They're doing low income housing because they are financially incapable of going for things like their own home. But that's because they took so many loans out for, superficial.
So speak on Jersey and speak on New York. Don't speak for everyone else.
I mean, it's really because a lot of millennials.
Because your reality is different from other people. Okay, and then going to trade school. I mean, that doesn't guarantee anything. We see people we all know people personally that have spent 3, 4, 5, 6 years in the military that are homeless.
He's triggered.
So I'm not triggered, Mo. I'm just speaking facts. You know what I'm saying? If somebody has that desire and ambition to go to school to try to do something, you don't tell them not to do it.
No, I would advise them to pick.
We see what the alternatives are.
No, I would advise them. I would never tell anybody not to go to college. What I would do is advise them to go for a major that makes them more marketable in the job force. Don't take superficial majors. Did you see the latest poll around millennials, my generation? They are so they are so far left that they are willing to succumb to socialism.
It has nothing to do
because of the financial burden that universities have put on my generation.
But it has nothing to do with left or right. Because it's personal decisions.
Yes, it does.
Socialism is a leftist ideology.
It is.
Socialism is a leftist ideology. It is a leftist ideology. It does not come from conservatism. Socialism is not a conservative ideology. It is not. It is from the far left. But the only reason why millennials lean more that way is because of the financial crisis that the universities have burdened us with.
But it depends on which university you go to. It depends
on the major that I take. Doesn't matter if I go to community college or university. No, it doesn't. If I go to school for women's studies or media arts, I'm spending $6,000 a semester. And then when I graduate, I can't get a job. But I would have spent over $75,000 to $100,000 to know how to hold the camera, to know how to better understand a woman when she speaks. I am not marketable for the job force, so I end up working at McDonald's or IHOP or Red Lobsters or any fast food restaurant, even though I'm a college graduate. That doesn't make sense. If you want to go to school, go to school. I'm not saying don't. I'm saying make a decision as to your major that makes you marketable in the job force. That is fine. You can go to school for that once it makes you marketable. Don't go to school for something superficial, because I'm going to tell you, you're going to go into those schools. You're not going to learn absolutely anything as far as how to best take care of yourself, how to be financially responsible. You're not going to learn about investments unless you take certain classes that teach you that. Those classes should be mandatory. If we don't go in there asking, I want to learn how to best prepare for my finances, how to best prepare to purchase a home by the time I'm 30 years old. If we don't go in there thinking that, then we're going to be, swindled. They're going to tell us what classes we should take. They're going to say, oh, you need to take creative writing because you want to be in media.
Okay, y'all, we are running out of time. We got like 1 minute left, everybody. And I appreciate likewise coming here with it.
I do too. I love that you came on. Like, I love that conversation. It was great.
And we doing this, and we'll come back on here and do this again.
Yeah, set it up. No, set it up, Mo, because like I said, you know me, I'm being courteous right now, but like I said, I don't believe this that overall that Asia, that you should speak for anybody that's not your area, nothing that you've experienced, okay? Because I'm tired of people coming on here and say what the black people should do, what people in the hood should do, what people on the left should do, what the people on the right should do. Because I'm not you and no, you're not me.
You're right. I'm not. I am a 24-year-old woman.
All right, y'all. We out of time, everybody. We out of time.
Like I said,
South Carolina right now. We out of time, everybody. Thank y'all for coming on here. We're gonna set that up with likewise, Asia. And anything, look, Asia, since you especially got anything you got to say before I close this.
No, I just want to say thanks likewise for joining us and actually having a conversation. That was actually a lot of fun. I enjoyed talking with you. That was good.
Everybody love likewise on here. Likewise, he comes on and spice it up. A lot.
Yeah, I love it. You're good. And you were such a gentleman. I appreciate that.
Yep.
All right,
y'all.
That
was a good one.
Hey, come back on here again. Let's do this. We're gonna do this. All right. I'm in this broadcast.
Yeah.
I'm in the broadcast. And thank you, everybody. Thank you, Asia. You are a breath of fresh air to my YouTube channel. You are a breath of fresh air, and I appreciate you. Okay.
I appreciate you too.
Much love to you. Stay online. Don't leave nowhere.
I got you.
Much love, everybody. Much love. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, and share. And I'll put a link on here. Man, show some support. Okay. Next.